Okay, before I introduce our contest mistress, I have to do something real quick. Hang on a second. I'm going to vanish, but I'm here.
I don't want to do it. No.
We need to get out.
It is my extreme pleasure to introduce to you your contest master for the 2011 District 84 Humorous Speech Contest. Help me welcome brand new Distinguished Toastmaster Lorraine Haataia.
I seem to have swapped my dripper. The Indian and I over there were under the table playing Rindersella. Everyone here knows that Dennis loves to Skype. And several months ago, he Skyped me up one night late. We had a bad connection, but it was good enough for me to make out that he was inviting me to be the contest pastor. So I spent the last few months working on my sermon for tonight. But when I looked at this beautiful conference book on Friday, I found out I was the contest master. So instead of preaching a sermon, I'm going to tell you a little story. Once upon a time, in a faraway place, not here on Earth, but somewhere out there in space, there were 3 men in a tub who started the first Toastmasters Club on the little-known planet of Dub. Romeo, the candlestick maker, was the club president. When he spoke, no one had a clue what he meant. He really annoyed the men and made them frantic. But the women all loved him because he was so romantic. The VP of Education was Pinocchio, a puppet who wore bow ties. His nose would swell out a bit further every time he told lies. His weekly schedule and his nose went out so long and so far that it was becoming difficult for him to get into his car. The VP of membership was Little Red Riding Hood. And for grandmothers, she brought lunch and did so much good. She dodged wolves in the woods that were hairy, big, and bad. To invite sugar daddies to come to Toastmasters. And to her pad. The VP of Public Relations was the happy Pied Piper. Of all the members, he was the most talented and hyper. He tooted about the club on his magic pipe during the days. And at night he typed on Facebook and Twitter. He blew his horn so many ways. The secretary was Robin Hood, who robbed from the rich. But he justified himself by making the poor his niche. He proposed a new club rule that each or cost $1. The treasurer was Sleeping Beauty, and she was always nodding off while on duty. In the meeting, she would always sleep and rest. But all the men liked her because she built up a very big treasure chest. The sergeant at arms was Aladdin who came to meetings on a magic carpet. He set up the tiny light and lectern and banner. There's nothing he'd forget. Each week he brought his friend the genie, who smoked out of a lamp. In a very short time, though, he became the division and district contest champ. The Toastmasters genie told every Rub-a-Dub member that there was only one thing he wanted them to remember. That if they faithfully followed the Toastmasters mission, then he would grant them 3 wishes on that one condition. Number 1, he promised they'd become leaders in their communities. And as good listeners, they'd have so many opportunities. Number 3, he promised they'd enjoy lots of hilarious laughter. And all the Rub-a-Dub Toastmasters laughed happily ever after. Welcome to the District 84 Humorous Speech Contest for 2001. We have 9 hilarious contestants. I was at Dub Toastmasters last week and they were in a different time zone. For 2011, we have 9 hilarious contestants who have earned the privilege of competing to become the District 84 Humorous Speech Champion for 2011. They have arrived at this point by having won at the club, area, and division level contests. The following are the main elements of the contest as prescribed in the Toastmasters International Speech Contest Rulebook. The purpose of the Humorous Speech Contest is, number 1, to provide an opportunity to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have benefited from Toastmasters training. To encourage development of speaking skills, which serve to enhance the educational opportunity for the speaker and for the audience as well. And third, to recognize the best as encouragement to all. In the interest of time, we will conduct this contest using the same procedure that Toastmasters International uses to conduct the International Speech Contest. The judges, contestants, functionaries, and sergeant-at-arms have all been fully briefed on the rules. The contestants have been informed of the location of the timing lights. There will be no flash photography during the contest. The sergeant-at-arms are instructed to close the doors and not admit anyone while the speakers are giving their presentations. So do not attempt to leave the room or enter while the speakers are speaking. Please take this minute to turn off your cell phones and pagers for the duration of this contest. Protests are limited to judges and contestants. The decision of the judges is final. Announcements of the results are final. There will be 1 minute of silence between each of the contestants for judges to mark their ballots. During that time, you may quietly enter or leave the room. Please do not talk during this time. At the conclusion of the contest, 2 minutes of silence will be observed for the judges to complete their ballots. Again, please do not talk during this period. At the end of this time, the ballot counters will collect the judges' ballots. The timers will deliver their report to the chief judge. The contestants have drawn for their speaking positions. If you'd like to get out your agenda, I will let you know that the order is as follows. Number 1, Michael Gregg. Number 2, Jamie Atkinson. Number 3, Tony Alex. Number 4, Vicky Iozia. Number 5, Robert Hinson. Number 6, Kathleen Kershaw. Number 7, Patricia Hoyt. Number 8, Deborah Perry. Number 9, Susan McDaniel. Timers, please make a last check of the timing lights. Madam Chief Judge, have the judges, functionaries, and Sergeant-at-Arms been fully briefed on the rules?
Madam Contest Master, they have. Let the contest begin.
We will now observe 1 minute of silence before our first contestant.